age 12, Bob McMahon began taking golf lessons with Bob Marshall at Bala Golf Club. That's when the Bala Cynwyd native met fellow youngster and future Golf Association of Philadelphia Hall of Famer R.J. Siegel.
We became friends, at least competitors, I would say, and we played probably for those 3 years, 55, 56, 57, probably a good 2, maybe sometimes 3 days a week. We'd play at Bala, and we were very competitive with each other. I think in the beginning, I may have won a few more than him in the beginning, but then he went well past me.
The teenage tandem turned heads at Bala and foreshadowed a joint presence in junior golf headlines.
Jay and I are playing our usual match, and we come in one day into the clubhouse, and there are a lot of the senior fellows in there, and I proudly announced that I had a 73 and Jay had a 70-something, and we're proud of ourselves. And some guy in there, his name Walter Rowe, who was a member of Bala, said, "You guys could not have shot at 73, 74. So he immediately took us right back out in the golf course to play. And we both shot in the 30s for Jay and I for the 9 holes that we played. And Walter gave up, came back in and said, "All right, I guess you guys do play well."
McMahon and Siegel became students of Sam Pinnacle and gained membership at White Marsh Valley Country Club in 1958. A year later, the two traveled to Alcoma Golf Club near Pittsburgh to compete in the Pennsylvania Golf Association's Junior Championship. McMahon survived a playoff to grab the last match play spot and advanced to the final, where he fell to George McInnes 2-up. The following week, McMahon met Siegel in the Gap Junior Boys Championship final at St. David's Golf Club. McMahon secured a 1-up victory on the 18th hole.
I remember hitting a 6-iron to the pin, and we both gave each other putts because I was close and he was close too. We both looked like we were going to birdie it, but mine was like a foot or two from the hole. I remember hitting a 6-iron, and we walked off and it was 1-up. That's the first time we had played in a match, other than playing with each other as kids or playing with each other in non-tournament.
McMahon proved that win over Siegel wasn't of the once-in-a-lifetime variety. The two reached the Junior Boys Final at St. David's in 1960, where an up-tempo McMahon again bested his friend, this time by a 6-5 margin.
And I remember Johnny Dineski, who I had idolized, sitting in a chair there with Peg Burnett, and they're talking. He didn't know I had won in the morning. He said, "Well, who's Jay going to beat this afternoon?" And I kind of looked at him like, okay. So we played. It was literally the best round I had in my life. I beat him 6-5. That was the second time we had played in match play, and I think the last. We played other rounds, but not in tournaments. As a matter of fact, I don't remember playing in a qualifying round with him.
By virtue of his junior boys victories in 1959 and 1960, McMahon represented the association in the Mason-Dixon matches. The Malvern Prep graduate put his competitive golf career on hold when he enlisted in the United States Army in 1966. He was sent to Vietnam a year later, leading a platoon in search and destroy missions, as well as village protection assignments. McMahon returned stateside in 1969. Competitive golf came back into focus in 1971. McMahon and William Hindman III, another Gap Hall of Famer, represented the region in a U.S. Open sectional qualifier at Montclair Country Club.
Went up on a Monday. The night before, I shot a 72, I think it was, in a practice round with a couple pros, and then went out and partied with them a little bit. And then the next morning, I shot a 170, probably the highest score in the field. I looked at it recently. Got off the tee at 7 o'clock in the morning, played with a guy named Bill Bishop, who's a local pro, still is apparently, and just couldn't play, learned a great lesson.
McMahon also gained the quarterfinals in the Gap Amateur that year, his best performance in a handful of attempts.
And we went 7 extra holes, and I believe it had to be the 7th hole at Manufacturers, must be a par 5, and I hit a 3-wood fairly close to the pin and made the putt for a 3. He made 4. So I beat him in, it was 25 holes, and I'd already played 16, so we played 41 for the day. So I thought that was my longest round of golf, and then I must have remembered that Jay and I once played 63 holes in one day at Bala Golf Club when we were kids, but 41 holes was the most I had played other than that, and had to be up again the next morning to play a match that I more than likely lost.
Career and family gradually steered McMahon away from the competitive circuit. He held membership at the Springhaven Club for nearly 20 years, participating in the Gap team matches and club events. Although McMahon, due to chronic back issues, played his last full round of golf in 1996, he feels forever indebted to the game.
I mean, when you play golf in the Philadelphia area and you're able to be part of the association and get to go to different courses, you meet people. There's no other sport that does that. You knew other members. You wanted to sign up for as many tournaments as you could because you get to play the courses, you meet the people. So it was a network that was built up. And that helped me get my job, first at Merrill Lynch, helped me meet people that many of them probably were clients, and really was, set me on my way.
McMahon has certainly paid it forward through his service to local government. He was elected to Media Borough Council in 1981 and became mayor in 1992, a title he still holds today. McMahon also co-founded the Veterans National Education Program, which teaches U.S. history through the eyes of those who serve, in 1999. And among his many accomplishments in life stands a pair of days spent with a Philadelphia golf legend.
But I had those 2 days in the finals of the City Juniors that obviously I'll never forget. And Jay, in our view, is one of the greatest amateur golfers of all time, one of the great senior pros of all time, just went on to have a remarkable career, both as an amateur and as a professional, and I'm proud of him. And we came from those days when he was 11, 12 years old at Bala Golf Club, rose through the junior ranks quickly. I mean, he won national tournaments at 15 years old, if I remember correctly. And, I just had my better days when I played against him in local tournaments.
For Gap TV, Tony Regina.
Your people, people, little, 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 little,